Hello, hello. I was about to unmute my microphone to cough. That would have been really funny. I'd rather clear my throat. Hello, boy, welcome. Yeah, because I have the reflex to like hit the mute button. But it would have unmuted. And that would have been really awkward. Hello, hello. Today we're playing Monhun. Should be fun. You know, I had a bunch of things that I was gonna say, and then I literally, like, forgot all of it. Oh, man. Let's see, give me 2 seconds. Let me think about what I was supposed to say. Hello as well, welcome. Damn it. No, it was, like, somewhat partially interesting, I swear. You think about it? I'm thinking. That's why you write things down. Also, my, come on, brain. You can do it, brain. Come on, brain, activate. Might have lost it. Oh. Oh, I think maybe I remember what it is. Sort of? I don't remember how I was supposed to, like, transition into talking about it. I have no idea. You know, normally you have something to go like, hey, I was thinking about this thing the other day. Right? Windows noises. Yeah, work, brain, work, come on. We'll hop into it while I'm thinking. But... oh, right, my cat has the, like, nurse outfit. I forgot. It's cute. So I was helping my friend, you know, do stuff. And, we got to HR 20. So I believe last time we unlocked our hunter rank, which, unfortunately, this game does not allow you to preemptively gain hunter rank. So in World, if you did this, right, where you, like, completed basically, like, all of the quests, which, luckily, I guess I didn't put too much time into doing these. But if you do all of those quests, you get, like, secret hunter rank behind the scenes, right? And, but it doesn't do that in this game. So, I had to grind afterward, after getting to HR 8 or whatever, to get to HR 20. Like, it doesn't do that for you. But, we are HR 20. I haven't really done much else. Outside of basically run low rank quests with my buddy. And we unlocked the Urgent, which is to fight Chameleos. I've never fought one of these things. I have no idea how it works. And we're gonna find out. But I wanted to talk about the math stream I did. Because, like, I don't know how else to say this outside of, like, man, I really feel like I did a good thing here. Why isn't it, like, very successful, right? And I'm going to elaborate on that, so allow me to, please. In that, like, I put some time into making the thumbnail pretty good for that, stream, so that afterward it would be pretty, I don't know, interesting for people to click on. And in, like, the first little bit after a stream finishes, there's, like, it gets a lot of, what's it called? Impressions. So, like, you kind of see the curve where, like, an impression is if it gets, like, shown to somebody in, like, their recommended or something or whatever, right? So it gets a lot of impressions, like, immediately after the stream ends. Right? And then the, like, the click-through rate is, like, kind of low. Because it gets sent to, I guess, so many people, and, like, some people don't click on it or whatever. Right? And I'm like, wait, but I put some time into making, like, this thumbnail pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was interesting. You know, you've got my, like, dumb, smug face on there. Being dumb and smug. the title literally says, like, you're wrong, which is, like, the easiest way to, like, engage somebody's ego, is to tell them they're wrong, and immediately they get, like, what do you mean I'm wrong? I want to see what the heck's this about? What's this stupid Elven Knight looking person saying I'm wrong about something? Right? Even though it has nothing to do with that. I mean, it, like, kind of does, but, you know, I don't really care either way. Like, what way you do your burst build. Doesn't matter. So yeah, I get concerned, because I'm like, you know, I really feel like this time I tried to, like, push the envelope, and then it didn't do anything, right? But the thing is, there's, like, this weird period after that, where, like, it, like, cuts the initial impressions for some reason. I don't know why. So if it originally got shown to, like, 2,000 people, has low click-through rate, right? Afterward, there's a separate period where it goes like, okay, now we've only really shown it to, like, 100 or so people, and actually the click-through rate is, like, 10%. And I go like, wait, what? So it is good. It's a good thing. I did a good thing. Yeah, good thing. Yeah. Yeah, we did it. So yeah. But, like, I forget that exists, I guess. Oh, that's kind of creepy. Well, that's very creepy. Gross. Yeah. So people clicked on it. I'm like, yeah, great. People looked at the thing. The thumbnail work wasn't for nothing. Let's go. So that was my experience recently with why aren't people getting clickbaited into clicking on "you're wrong." You are wrong. You are incorrect. What do you mean I'm incorrect? I'm a dungeon fighter player. I know everything there is about the dungeon and the fighting of the dungeons. I don't even know how my brain got to, like, there, right? Because I've kind of been, so I am actually kind of hitting the, like, what's it? Not breakpoint, like, deadlines? So I actually have, like, a few deadlines soon. I actually have one tonight, but, like, it's not gonna get done tonight, even if I, like, tried crunching to finish it, like, so just handing it in tomorrow. There's a slight late penalty, which is fine. But yeah, for some reason it got to that. Got onto thinking about clickbait. Why bother working towards a deadline when you could be gaming? You know, you're right. I at least made the project. I feel like one of the most difficult things for me is, like, getting the project started and setting everything up. Like, I think I seriously have issues, like, getting projects set up. It's not my forte. Yeah, how's everyone else doing? I hope other people aren't stressing. Maybe they are. Why is this thing... It walks around so awkwardly. It's kind of... It's, like, kind of cool. It does that. You gonna roar there, buddy? Ew, it makes slimy noises. Oh my goodness. I swear the person who made those sound effects does sound effects for different medias that aren't this one. Oh, now it's invisible. Oh, now it's like super invisible. I've been missing a few classes due to sleep issues, but aside from that, I've been doing well. Yep, I mean... honestly, kind of same. I missed my class this morning. Which, like... it's unfortunate because it's sort of around a deadline, and I feel like... the deadline that I'm thinking about is for the class that I missed this morning, so I feel like this was a poor opportunity for me to miss, but, like... as I've said before, all the lectures are recorded, so I kind of feel like I don't mind just watching it later. I feel like I get kind of the same thing out of it when I do that. I don't normally ask questions anyways. In that class in particular, I don't. Oh god. Poison. But yeah, since there's like a deadline, I was like, I feel like this is the worst time to be missing this class. Yeah. Good that you're not... oh. It's good that you're doing fine otherwise. And to be fair, I know I'm like saying that I've been stressed, but I'm at least catching up, I think. Question mark? I hope I am. Because been working on stuff. Oh. Oh yeah, I've been trying to replicate some of the stuff I've been doing in Dungeon Fighter. Because there's that event going on right now that's like the roguelike mode. Oh. I saw that coming and I wanted to counter it, but I kind of messed it up. So there's that roguelike event happening in Dungeon Fighter, and they just announced a like a video submission event for like creative runs. Excuse me. For creative runs or builds. And I'm like, wait, but I already did that. I already did the pony build. So now I guess, you know, I wonder if that's enough extrinsic motivation for me to actually do it. Or, like, make a video on it. I wanted to replicate a run with, like, maximum difficulty and only chain rush, but without featuring the infinite heal thing, because I felt like that was kind of too strong. I have not really been succeeding with that. I tried doing it for like 2 hours last night, and I don't think I was close. It feels bad, man. Welcome, Kraos. Hello, hello. Also, Poi, you said, it's all recorded for me too, so I'm not that worried about it, but if it keeps up, it might become a real issue. Yeah, I mean... I think that's fair, to see that it would be an issue. Is it, like, the sleep problems that are the issue, or, like, that there would be a critical mass of things you'd have to watch? Okay, that doesn't work. Because, I mean, as long as you watch it at some point in time, right? It doesn't really matter, right? Ow. Oh, no. This one. Oh, it flies. feel like the attack pattern of this thing is really weird because it reveals itself when it attacks, but like that one, for example, you react to it, but it's kind of like, right? Kind of delayed. So you have to wait. Kind of cool, I guess. Hey, how's it going, Kratos? I asked people what's up, how they're doing. They're doing well. Can watch it all later on the day of, so that's fine. But when it moves to near fully physical, it would be a larger issue. Also, sleep issues is just bad in the long run anyhow. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, that all makes sense to me. For example, I don't think I would want to have, like, persistent sleep issues in general. Also, yeah, I suppose if there's no, like, if there's no recorded option at all for the lectures, then that's, like, kind of unfortunate, like, even when you move to physical. I actually... It was like, it's basically like opt-in for me. If you wanted it to be in person. But like, I'm not super comfortable with that right now. So I chose to stay online. The only slightly regret. Nice, because I like sleeping in through class and then watching it later. So Rance, what's up? Doing better? Was snowed into 9 yesterday. What does that mean? Like snowed in till 9 at night? Or like snowed in by 9 centimeters? Or what's up with that? I'm babysitting my nephew, so my hands are a little full. But I've had some ideas for your Lancer robot. Alright. Yeah, your Lancer robot is the spider mech with a lot of guns on it, as I recall. Which, I didn't actually check the Lancer book for which one that was. And it sounded like it was different from the one my friend chose. Oh. Ow. Alright. Gotta sharpen. I think if I played Lancer again, I'd want to play the Railgun mech. It's just cool. It's like a cool idea. The Swallowtail. Is that or is that not the one mech? I don't know. I guess you could, like, do a bunch of different things with any given mech, but, like, my friend just slapped a railgun on it and called it a day. But yeah. Rance says it kept... Snow kept me at work till 9, couldn't escape. That's really unfortunate. Hope you at least maybe had, like, something to entertain yourself? I don't know. They didn't, like, keep you overtime or something, did they? I mean, I guess that's also possible. Crazy said, do you think it would be more interesting to have equipment on the robot to help survive hostile planets and environments, or would it be more interesting to transform into a performance state? Well, I mean, I definitely have an answer for you, but I'm always encouraging of making your own decisions, or whatever. But I'm assuming in this case you want, like, a direct answer. The Death's Hand is the Railgun Sniper Spider. Yeah, okay, so they are different ones. Thanks for clarifying. Like, from what I remember about your character, right? It's like, why does your character care about survivability, right? They're like an adrenaline junkie. So, I feel like something crazy and extravagant is more your style. Well, like, no character is ever locked in place, right? Maybe they could have realized, I don't know. Just like to, I was gonna say, I just like to think about it in, like, the sense of the character, right? Because it's like, I don't know, the justification for the other one could be like, well, your character wants to seek out more interesting environments for better video ideas, haha, like, or live streaming, whatever, right? So they think like, oh, I need to be able to survive the hostile environments to, like, give you guys content, right? So, like, that's another similar justification, right? But, right, it's more thinking about, I suppose, what your character wants. Nah, not locked in? Yeah. I guess all I was kind of alluding to was that, like, you could have any kind of character justification, whatever you want. Oh, I went early. Damn it. I tried to, like, wire bug out of the way after I realized I messed up. Doesn't actually work like that. I think I'm gonna collect some of the attack bugs, because this guy's not really dying. So I wonder if I'm supposed to, like, actually do stuff. The other leans into the hostile survival stuff for the reasons you just said, and because she was left for dead on a hostile world once. That's fair. Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting perspective, too, for you to be kind of like an expert on the thing, you know what I mean? Where it's like, fire up the live stream and it's like, hey guys, we're on a hostile planet here. If you breathe in any of this stuff, you literally die. And it's just like, okay, tell us more. So I have all these things and stuff that I knew I had to get because, you know, let me tell you about this one time where I was stranded on this hostile island. Sorry. It's been a while since I've gone to roleplay, so my brain starts filling in the things. My friend who I was playing Monhun with actually was talking about how he might want to run some sessions of stuff. He actually wanted to run like a Gundam theme campaign using the Lancer rule set. And I think he wanted it to be more in the style of like of Gundam, where it's very like character, like it's like character drama focused or whatever. I think that's what he said he would like was his. So what he said his like high level goal was for the campaign. Roleplay live streams. Yo, bro. You want to relax with the spammerino? We went to few streams without getting any. Kind of surprised. Report. Or I really want to like. So it's funny because I know or I don't know. I guess I would assume that if you like report messages that don't have any bearing, then like then YouTube stops like caring about your messages or whatever. But I really just want to like report the bots for something stupid like pornographic content. And it's like, yeah, this one bot, you see, they were really trying to sell their their OnlyFans to my audience. It wasn't very chill. But yeah, roleplay live streams, very unlikely. That is almost certainly not happening, unfortunately. For the first like obvious reason being that like none of my friends know I'm a VTuber. And the second reason being that we're a bit different. I'm surprised it got through the 4-hour sub mode, though it's clear how. Well, I don't think I have it set to 4-hour sub mode right now. I've been changing it to anybody can chat, or at least I think so. Because I thought I had it set to anybody can chat for the last few streams. I feel really bad because I've been asking at the end of streams, like, do we have any new friends, right? With the idea that, like, that if anybody wanted to, like, chime in, then, like, we can do that. I think I'll double check that in one moment. Cool. You know what makes a sick mech pilot? A mech obsessed junkie who's literally in love with his Gundam. His lightsaber, you know, a purple shoobadoo, and he's got karate. I don't know what that is. Thinks he's a little too into combat. Yeah, those are role-playing characters I play in D&D. For me, it says 4-hour sub mode, but that might be YouTube being weird. No, I think it might be bugged. Like on my end too. Like when I fire it up, it doesn't. Like it does something weird. Maybe on Streamlabs end. BRB Upset Baby. Yes, please go. Please go attend to Upset Baby. That was a really funny delay on its attack. I was not anticipating for it to, for it to poke its tongue out before tonguing me. It's not the norm, you know? Whoop. Oh! Yeah, babies are pain. Good luck. I'm going to refrain from reading the rest of that. I can confirm that I don't want anything to do with babies or upset babies. Was that seriously the hunt? Is this a joke? This thing was supposed to be an Elder Dragon. Really? Alright. We did it! I was kind of expecting to fail a few times. And be like, okay, we did it! Yeah! Alright, cool. Let's go! Foggers! One moment. Oh yeah, I also don't know if you noticed, but I got the, I unlocked some layered armor, so I can wear the Nargacuga pants. Which are high quality. I can confirm the Narga pants are pretty good. Oh ho, as expected. Well, I unlocked some more Hunter rank stuff, I suppose. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so I guess the Hunter rank, like, after you unlock it the first time, then it lets you gain extra XP. I guess. Oof, poor Dragon got roasted. He tried his best. Yeah, he certainly did, it just wasn't very good. So if this thing turns invisible, you can make armor from it. Until next time. Yeah, I don't think I can get invisible armor, unfortunately. Where is it? Can I even make it? What is this? Yeah, so this is the Chameleos stuff. Oh, it's cute. It's like a little... Oh my god. Look at that. They give you some thickness in the back. That's cool.
Powerful equipment is important, but you want to look good in battle too. Sometimes it's hard to choose.
Sorry. I should avoid doing that. I think my throat doesn't like it when I do that. Yeah, those are some thick wiggles. I should actually check what the, should check what the thing is. What does it actually give you? Oh, holy moly. That's actually like a lot of stuff. 2 Mind's Eye, 2 Evade Window? Don't know what Chameleos Blessing does. Sometimes increases Spear Bird. Extends the duration of poison effects. Alright, cool. Yeah, my friend and I were discussing the terminology, the dump truck. I just wanted to say that, that is a good way of describing things. I think it is a very, I was gonna say adequate, but it's like a very concise way of describing thickness. All the Hunter needs is a cardboard box. You don't need invisibility. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's any cardboard box, cardboard box stuff in this game. Okay, do we have more stuff? I already want to hunt, I guess. Because I don't actually know. Why don't we fight the monkey? Because, like, I don't actually know what gear I can get that improves, like, what I currently have. Stats. If attack boost 4, crit I 2, Crit boost 2, some fire attack, and quick sheath. Oh wow, I was actually doing that quest with quick sheath too. That's because I have the wrong talisman equipped. Quick sheath. Yeah, I'm gonna actually check. Let me check and see if I have the unlocked the thing. Melding pot. Yeah, rebirth. Don't have enough talismans. How does this work? Meld multiple talismans by providing a certain amount of talismans. Oh, so this is like turn any of your talismans into random other talismans. And then this is... Let's specify a skill. This is meld multiple talismans by providing... Okay. So this is the full random, like, gacha experience. And we can just set it to, like, 10. So I guess we'll do that. I don't actually think I need the Narwa stuff.
This is exciting.
Need 30. Alright, let's see how that goes. Oh, I can make like 10 orders. Oh, I can make like 10 orders. That's a lot of orders. Narwa tentacle. Wait. I just realized that that's a thing. Kind of funny. Alright, let's keep crafting these. Literally just get rid of all of my materials so that I don't have any gold left. Or I suppose Zenny? I don't know which one it is. It says... Need 35. There's 35. I'm pretty sure I cannot fulfill all these orders. I kind of thought like, oh, maybe I should. Because that sounds like it's a smart thing to do, but... don't think I have a critical mass of materials to do this with. There's no 15. Alright, I think that's what I'm willing to go with for now. Let's see how those go. Maybe I also want to clear out the... I want to clear out, like, the low-rank quests for fun. Just so I can say they're done. I think I wanted to build, like, one more piece of Rajang, so... Let's fight the Rajang, and then we'll go from there. Let's remember not to kill it. I say right before we kill it. Indeed, dump truck, quite good. My favorite term is plot. As a description. The plot world... The plot world ends harm so good. Like, it's so thick and complex. Yes, that is fair. Honestly, sometimes you just have to describe it how it is, right? You know? Sometimes the plot of shows is just very... very thick and rich. It's just kind of how it is. Gotta say it how it is. I feel like we're gonna have trouble with this one. Oh boy. Ah. That was pretty sweet. The helm splitter into... Oh man. The helm splitter into the foresight slash was pretty sweet. I find that very unfortunate, and would like to blame my control strike drift. The control stick drift was pretty annoying there. See if we can blow some of the dirt out of there. Monkey, let's go. Go Super Saiyan 3 to beat Flareus. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any additional extra forms. I'm just, I was gonna say I'm kind of like an Onion Knight, but I think Onion Knights get super OP stats at level 99. But I'm like an Onion Knight who doesn't get super OP stats at level 99. Ugh. Oh, they coming back. Alright. Welcome back. Oh, where are you going? Man. Can you, like... relax? I'm just Deku. We need we need to get you some hair to swallow. I have no comments on my ability to swallow. Hair. Nice. Whoop. Ah, come on. Trying to foresight slash. Oh, get me out of here. Now I just need baby to sleep so I can enjoy stream. I mean, you know. That's fair. I actually just watched, sorry, right before I got on stream, I watched a video, by someone who I don't know. I think it was like John Tech or something. It was like the daily life of an engineer who works at home. And I actually thought it was like the funniest thing in my entire life. Particularly their, like, I don't know. I don't actually know how it is, but, like, their portrayal of the executive for Blinder was, like, legitimately the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Because, like, I know people, like, clown on executives, right, a lot. Which I think is, like, part of their job description, honestly. But, like... The skit was literally like, all right, so here's the proposal we have for, like, you know, the infrastructure of your, like, selling blinds and stuff. And they're like, so I saw in your presentation that you didn't include any machine learning. And it's like, are we doing machine learning? Is that, like, was that part of the project details? Like, do we have any machine learning engineers on our team? And they're like, no, that's your job. You're supposed to figure that out. It's like, wait. Wait. So what data sets are we working with for the machine learning? Well, we don't have any data sets because our company is about not collecting data. And it's like that entire skit was like so perfect. I literally couldn't handle it. Sometimes, man. Yeah, and here we would like to make sure we want to make sure that there's a high sense of player agency here. Okay, well, see, the project was about making a visual novel. So where exactly were we gonna include the player agency? Oh, well, we just like include it. That's your job. You figure it out. You're right. I didn't think about it. Sorry. Read him the Samuel Jackson Sleep Lullaby. That sounds like potential good comedy. Where do I see this YouTube? Yeah, I can probably, like, find out what the video was or something. Or get, like, the exact name. Should be in my history. But that literally killed me, though. It's literally, it's like... Yeah, so we wanted to put NFTs in our game. Alright, do we have anybody who can do that? No. What do you mean you don't know how to include NFTs into the game? Oh. Nice. Maximum damage. Oh, that's another meme that's been popping up that's really good. Emotional damage. I didn't think that was... Did not think that was going to be a high-profile meme, but it is. It's great. Alright guys, today we're fighting Rajang. And we must figure out how to incorporate emotional damage into our build. We're gonna look for the skills in the, oh, that's awkward. I hate it when you try to shoot and nothing comes out. That was a lot weirder than I thought it would sound. Yeah, we have to find the armor skill that gives us the emotional damage skill. I feel like that's a good one for, you know. Speaking of which, screenshots your pick. Time for some emotional damage, as I see Flare's NFT for $1 million. Man, I hate it when they screenshot my NFT. That's the worst. Oh, that's so weird. It's like, it's almost like the first 3 hits are never gonna hit. It's really weird. Wow. That was literally like in 4K what it looks like to get shield grab. That is hilarious. Oh my god. Please, no. Oh no! Monkey, could you please relax? I hate it when they copy the link I own. Seriously, you don't even own the picture, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'm led to believe they're significantly more complicated than that, but certainly it is the new cash grabby thingy, I think. Like, I don't know. Not entirely sure how to feel about it. Because, like, trying to, like, have a coherent thought here instead of just saying some random garbage, but like, I don't necessarily feel the concept of ownership over something in a digital form. Is, I think, what I'm gonna say. Like, my brain does not feel the sense of ownership for anything digital, really. It's like, yeah, but like you bought this copy of like Monhun. It's your copy of Monhun. It's like, I don't know, they could have just given me like a they could have like Control C, Control V'd somebody else's copy of Monhun and given it to me. Does that matter to me? Not really. I don't care. Right? All that matters to me is that it's functional, right? So I don't particularly relate to the concept of ownership. But I think people have also described that there's like different practical uses for it that aren't really, or like, I think have been explored but aren't really being used yet, so I think those are the more like exciting things for it, if it ever gets used for that. And they completely missed. That's big funny. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I actually got in a pretty serious discussion about, is Monkey going crazy? I'm not sure how much I want to, like, bring up this discussion, because it maybe is, like, it was pretty complicated for me to, like, articulate it the first time, so I don't know if I can articulate it correctly the second time, right? But it was in regard to the... There was like a meme that got posted. Oh. I should seriously prepare myself to talk about this thing if I'm gonna talk about it, I guess. I don't want to hype it up to be anything in particular. It's more like I don't really know how people feel about it, but there was like a meme post about like tracing 3D models for oh god, for posing and stuff. So you could, for example, have a 3D model of like a mannequin, for example, and like pose it in the pose you want to draw, and then just like trace over the mannequin for the body shape, and then like, and then draw details on top of it, right? So I was explaining that, like, they're like how I guess artists feel about tracing, right? And we sort of split it into a few categories, which I think the main one, because there was like a few things, right? But the main thing was like, if you're tracing somebody else's work, it's just like never okay, really, unless the artist is okay with it, but that's very unlikely. The reason this, like, why I thought of this, by the way, was literally because we were talking about ownership. Or NFTs and ownership. But, oh, jeez. Can't tell which one's gonna hit me and not. So yeah, it's like if you're chasing somebody else's work, it's like disingenuous to the artist who created the work. And then like claiming it as your own is like bad. I think that was pretty like accepted. And then the other thing was kind of like yeah, so that was definitely one of the points, Rance. You think it's okay if you're not selling it and state it? Tracing is good for learning. Yeah, so there was certainly some discussion about tracing as like a learning tool. Right? And it was kind of like I'm trying to remember exactly like where the second point came in, right? So like there's the thing about being disingenuous about like how you've created work and stuff, and like there was a specific term, but it's like taking ownership of somebody else's work, or effectively plagiarism, is like also not cool in general. But then there was like the aspect of like what makes art basically. Right? Or like what allows us to appreciate art as a thing. So I think one of the points was like part of the appreciation of art comes from the idea that you like put some amount of effort into it, right? So like the idea, right, if you have like a vision in your head that you want to express, then like there's some expectation that like you use the concepts of like form and like the production of form, like literally drawing lines to, or not drawing lines, painting, whatever you do, right? Like there's some way in which you produce form on like a piece of artwork, right? Whether that be lines or painting over or something. So it's like to some degree disingenuous to the like expected like effort put into a piece of art if you like trace over something. So I think there's another pretty major thing was that like even if you traced form, there's like a lot of different things that you can put effort into. So for example, like coloring, most people I think just trace over mannequins, so like they don't trace details, right? So like basically, like if there's effort put into something, that's part of like how we like interpret the beauty of art, right? So we kind of deem it like there was no effort in creating your artistic vision if you like purely traced over and reproduced something, right? Honestly, though, sometimes anime art style is so formulaic that it's kind of all the same. Not all, but a lot of popular stuff, just characters with different colors and hair. I'm not sure if that's considered tracing, though. Yeah, so, like, to define tracing, we are literally talking about, like taking a piece of art and putting it, like, on a transparency layer so that you can, like copy the lines exactly, right? And there's kind of, like, again, I feel like part of the appreciation of art is, like, the assumption that the artist put, like, effort into creating something. Because, like, or in a state where there's, like, mastery. So if you have a master artist who could, like, create a masterpiece very easily, it's the appreciation that, like, of the skill they have honed over a piece of, like, over an amount of time. Right? So I could probably, like, produce a piece of artwork of the quality that I produce artwork. And if people find that impressive, then they can, like, appreciate the skills it took to build to get to this point. Right? So rather than appreciating, like, the effort of the, like, piece itself, it's the retroactive understanding that, like, they would have had to put in effort to be as good as they are, right? So there's like this ethereal, like, feeling of effort attached to the beauty of artwork, right? So if someone says, like, oh, you, like, for a piece of music, oh, you just wrote the same, like, you're using the same hook as this other song, right? Like, or I think a common thing people say is, like, oh, all pop music sounds the same, right? Like, I feel like why people find that stuff not, like, beautiful is because they don't understand where the effort is that was put into the thing, right? So, like, for myself, I honestly don't feel like I listen to a whole lot of, like, modern traditional pop music, right? But I can still appreciate that, like, most of the effort in, like, pop music goes into production. And then there's certainly songwriting and all that stuff, but, like, there is seriously a lot of work done on production, right? Try doing this. I don't know how well it's gonna go. So, right, I think some people, like, don't view it in a high light because they go, like, oh, there was no effort required to create this. So, right, and none of this kind of, like, had to do with, none of this had to do with observing the final result, because, like, certainly one of the arguments for tracing was that, like, it doesn't really matter what your process was, you kind of just, like, care about the result. So, yeah, where was I before? Pop music, yeah, like effort in production and like where effort goes, I think is something that people don't really consider in regard to like art and media and stuff. So they like brush it off and don't find it as interesting, even if the result is actually pretty like impressive. Yeah, definitely get what you're saying, but sometimes it feels like anime kind of steals from each other, like isekais. Just feels like they traced and copied each other's scripts. So, like, I want to be very specific in what I'm saying, Rance, and I think that it doesn't actually extend to what you're talking about. So I can get to that, but, like, I think the first and foremost main thing about tracing is, like, if it's not your work, it's, like, unacceptable. Due to it, like, due to the concept of, like, stealing somebody else's work. So you're kind of, like, not allowed to do that. And then the other thing was kind of, like, the ethereal effort factor that goes into, like, creating a piece of self-expression. So, like, when people feel like you don't put an effort into that, it doesn't, like, it doesn't compute. Oh, that was the thing that I wanted to mention, was that, like, because for some people, right, tracing is actually difficult because they might be a novice, like a novice artist. And I think people genuinely, like, what I tend to see on certain, like, card game forums and stuff, right, is that people, like, draw their favorite units. I'm not saying that they're tracing because, like, I don't know if they did or did not. But, like, the result is that it's not very pretty looking, and it's just kind of, like, okay. And I think what people tend to do in those scenarios, right, is that they're actually fairly supportive. Because, like, because, again, there's, like, that implied, like, there's this, like, implied idea of effort, right? So it's like, I'm assuming because the result isn't very good, but there's, like, a weird high level of detail of, like, the person trying to, like, view and copy the details that didn't turn out very good, that, like, probably the person who made this piece of art put effort into it. So we just kind of go like, oh, that's, like, it's not very good, but, like, you know, keep at it. You'll one day be, like, good at the thing. So keep doing it. Right? Got you. Just was wondering, do you consider that stealing? Sometimes a lot of anime blur that line despite the effort. They make the same exact content. Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing, is that, like, I understand that there are things that are very formulaic, but I think people are very quick to, like, show why two things are similar instead of, like, looking deeper as to why they're different. Right? Like, for example, right? If people looked at my character, right, they would go like, oh, it's... So what levels can we analyze, like, my character? Right? You go, okay. So they're like a knight in a blue dress who is blonde with long hair. I guess that doesn't even fit anymore, but okay. Knight in blue dress. So you're saying they're a saber clone, and it's like, I think we can pretty clearly see that I am not exactly a saber clone. And you go like, yeah, but you're both wearing a breastplate, right? So you're just like a knight in armor, and it's like, well, have you looked at the detail in the breastplate? Right? Like, I kind of have like a gem thing. Have you looked at the detail that's different, like, in the frills on the side of the dress? Or that I'm wearing, like, scale mail? Have you looked at the difference in, like, the hairstyle, right? Like, because the thing that I actually find fascinating about the field of, like, character design is literally those small details. Like, I actually find it difficult to find characters that look exactly the same. You know what I mean? They can look like 90% similar, and then you sort of change how the eye line goes, and they, like, feel like a completely different character. So I actually find that really cool about things that are, like, 90% similar but slightly different. Right? So I think it really depends on, like, what degree you analyze something. And I think, like, generally the lowest level of analysis going, like, literally when people go, okay, so this is a pretty common one. It's like saying that something, like, with meat, cheese, and sauce is like pizza. And it's like, this is literally incorrect. Right? And it's like, yeah, but, like, is it pizza? And it's like, no, it's literally not. Because you are not analyzing it at the level in which they are different. You are actively going out of your way to say that they're the same. Right? So we can move on more to the topic of, like, what's it? The thing that you were saying. So most definitely, but, like, sometimes anime, right, are the exact same. Not all, but sometimes anime use self-aware comedy to copy things from artists. Yeah, so, right, like, these are different examples, right? So if you're making a self-aware reference, then you have to, like, think about it as if it's a reference, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't go like, oh, hey, that's a reference to something, and be like, man, I can't believe they stole that thing, even though clearly they're nodding to the fact that it's a reference, right? You view it with the perspective that it is a reference, right? Does that make sense? It's like if you made an isekai and then you made a Konosuba joke, that there's, like, a band of, like, 4 idiots bumbling around. Like, there's murmurs of that party existing. And then they walk in and they all look like really... Like, they literally look like the Konosuba party light. Right? If that was the case, then I think everybody would see that and go like, oh, that's a reference. Right? So, like, the perspective that they view it with is that it's a reference. And that makes it okay. Right? But even as far as, like, like, isekais being very similar goes, like, I feel like I'd want a specific example, right? Because, like, if we're gonna talk about, like, specific examples that of things being 90% similar but actually quite different, then, like, we kind of need specifics, I think. But you could even argue with, like, like, if you... So, okay. I'm gonna preface this by saying, like, I'm not the hugest fan of Sword Art online. I think kind of the meme is that people don't really like that show, and I think I would agree that it's not the best show in general, right? So, like, if you have a show that's like, okay, we are gonna have generic protagonist A, who is the person with black hair, who is the person that the audience is supposed to project themselves onto, or whatever, right? Okay, I'll address that in a second. So, okay, Sword Art. Part of the Sword Art idea Which I think some people even argue, like, is sword art even an isekai? Like, some people, I think, argue that point. But, like, let's assume that sword art is an isekai. Right? But, like, I think one of the main things about sword art as an isekai is that it's, like, an isekai that is also kind of a death game. Right? So it's like, the character has been isekai'd, they've been put into another world, but also there's this, like, subtext that when people die, they are killed. Right? And, like, there's a big deal placed on that because the people who are dragged into the game, like, were not on board with that. So, like, say all the other criticisms about sword art that are definitely true and correct, but can we agree that, like, part of what makes that story different? Not different, necessarily different in a good way, not necessarily unique in a good way, but part of what makes that story different is that, like, the inciting incident on, like, the isekai part of the story was, like effectively a non-consenting death game. So that, like, made the stakes very high. So now you compare this to another isekai that has a similar premise, where, like, you get isekai'd, but you get isekai'd into a digital world. Right? So I think the nearest comparison people have made is, like, Log Horizon. So that is a story about, like, unconsenting isekai into, like, a digital world. Right? But we look at, like, what does Log Horizon value as part of its storytelling? Right? Is it about death? Right? Like, you find out maybe a bit later it's kind of different, but, right? It's sort of about death, but a lot of the, like, features in Log Horizon are more about, like, the social issues that happen when you put a bunch of, like, socially inept people into, like, positions of power. Sort of, kind of. I mean, I think the main character sort of knows what they're doing, I guess, but, like, you know? So those are stories with, like, a very similar inciting incident that have, like, vastly different, like, things that the story are about. But the thing is, some people will just say, like, Log Horizon is better sword art. And it's like, they are very different shows saying different things. You could also still argue on, like, an objective checklist that one is better than the other. But again, that's, like, the level of analysis that you're giving it. Right? So, like, what perspective are you taking when you say the statement that you are saying? So if the perspective is that, like, we want to compare these things on the basis of the things that it, like, objectively does correctly in storytelling, then I would probably tell you Log Horizon's a little better. If we say these things are the same because they are both isekais into a video game world, I would agree with you, because that is true. If you said, how are these stories different, I would say that Log Horizon is about, like, society, and sword art is about a sad boy in a digital world. So we can see that these two things are fairly different, even though people will oversimplify. It's like almost a really bad, what's it called? It's almost like a really, really bad straw man argument. Right? Because, like, I can't disagree that they are both isekais into a digital world. It's like, you have just set up a thing that I cannot disagree with factually. But, like, that's not really the point. Right? There's no, like, deeper level of understanding that makes that opinion valuable for any reason. Right? So, I will read what you said. Like, I remember an isekai where the plot literally, dude abducts god girl and then calls her Aqua. It's literally just Konosuba. Right, so again, we have to, like, look deeper than that. Like, what else is the show about? Right? You could, like, definitely make a reference and a meme that's like, haha, we're both bringing, like, a godly figure into a world and we're both calling them Aqua, but, like, what actually are those shows about? You know what I mean? Like, what are the differences? You have clearly established a thing that is the same, but I think most people could do that. You know what I mean? The second thing, like, a lot of isekai just taking one thing and then changing it. The rest are the same. They exist the same world and rules. There are exceptions like Shield Hero and even Sao. I would even probably also say Sao got stronger harem elements where Log Horizon doesn't. That's literally what the show is about, though there's none. Yeah, so if the entire show is to be exactly the same, then it's a parody show. So what perspective do we view the second show in? Right? Do you go like, oh, it's the same, so I'm not going to watch it? Or do you go, oh, this is clearly a reference show, and they want to make, like, a meme show, so I'm going to watch it because it's a meme show? Right? Like, what perspective do you take when you start watching that show? Because I feel like if you start that show going like, I expect this to be something creatively different from its reference material, when it's clearly a meme show about referencing a thing, it's just like, well, what are you doing, man? I literally don't understand why you are doing that. Like, why would you do that? I don't get it. You are, like, going out of your way to not, like, consume the product that it was designed for. I don't get it. I think there's a simple answer to that, too, which is, like, people like to hate on things, and, like, that's... To be fair, like, part of the function of a reference show could be to, like, draw people who dislike the thing. So, like, in reality, they're just, like, playing into part of how it's designed. So, like, I don't know how I feel about that either. Also, yeah, so, Rich, you actually made a very good point here, which is that, like, Sao has a stronger harem element where Log Horizon doesn't. And this is exactly the point, right? Is that, like, okay, do you want an isekai with a sad boy and harem elements? Maybe go watch that. If that's not what you wanted, maybe go do something else, right? You just need to, like, view the thing for what it is, right? Whereas people are very quick to oversimplify things. Because I guess, like, maybe because it makes them feel smart, I guess. Like, I don't know, man. Like, because that's sort of the era of the internet where, like, I cared more about watching anime content, was there was, like, a lot of that kind of stuff. Where it's, like, hate content that is specifically pointing out how things are the same. And it's like, if we wanted to apply a level of analysis, right? You know, it's like a really cool level of analysis that we can look at stories on. The hero's journey. So you could go like, man, I can't believe every story is just like the hero's journey in slightly different ways. Man, that makes me so bored with stories. It's like, yeah, most pop songs are like 6-4-5-1 progressions in different ways with like slightly different filler chords. Man, I can't believe music is all the same. It's like, look, man, view it for why it's different, is what I encourage people to do. You might, like, enjoy it more. Instead of being like a, I don't know, is the term pedantic? Like, pedantic asshole? View it for why it's different. You might enjoy yourself. Go fight a Rathalos. The other thing you said, Konosuba already a comedy, I don't know. Just wish people understand how cool concepts are. I appreciate when they actually spin it, rather than, that's cool, yoink. Yeah, so certain, like, okay. So now that I kind of described why it's valuable for art to be very similar but slightly different, there is also something to be said about, like, poor execution when trying to do that. So, like, arguably, if you took basically all the same story details and, like, did what you're describing, which is, like, they didn't spin it, right, is what you said. It's like, well, what do you define as spinning, right? Like, what do you define as, like, spinning a story, right? I could think of a few definitions, but basically what I'm going to say, right, is that there needs to be something interesting enough that, like, makes it different. But even in that, like, with that kind of statement, you're looking for something that is different, right? So, like, the thing is, what if the thing that they made different, right? So I'm gonna make, like, a meme here, right? So, okay, let's go. Okay, we're going isekais, right? Now we go. Okay, so this isekai is about being in the isekai with a smart device, and that's slightly novel. Like, it's slightly new or interesting, because it's like, yeah, if you got put into a fantasy world, but you have a device that solves everything, like, that's kind of funny, right? I'm not saying that I would watch that show or I find it very interesting, but it does make it different, right? And then you can talk about execution and all the other things with that. But then you go, like, okay, how is that story different from an isekai where you get sent there with a parental figure? Which, again, I'm not going to specify what that show is. Right? So it's like, these shows will probably have a very similar script. However, like, the point of the isekai being, like, removing yourself a little bit from reality, but keeping part of it the same, right? You can, like, do stuff with that. I don't know if they did stuff with that, but you can, right? So I just think in those cases, like, a lot of the things are going to be the same. Like, you're probably going to have a supporting character. I would argue you will have a main girl, and then you will have a sub-girl, and then you might have a best friend character, and then you might have all of these tropes, and you might, like, the story progression might follow the hero's journey, right? Like, yeah, but they did it with a smartphone this time, and that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know, man. Like, right? I don't even watch that show, but I can understand why people might want to. Right? It's just, like, slightly different. It just makes it a little different. Right? Sorry, so I'm gonna read this other stuff. I tend to be most fascinated with stories that are amazing through execution of well-worn tropes. Yeah. Right? So, what's interesting about that, I think, is that, like, I think stories that aim to do that, so, like, specifically, like, through their writing, they try to execute a trope, right? I think those are kind of, like, the epitome of this idea, right? Where it's like, yeah, 90% of it's going to be the same, but actually there's going to be some stuff that's slightly different, and then, like, you experience things based on that. Right? So, yeah. Telling the story their own way, not the same way the original artist did. Guess different framework is the word you're looking for. Yeah, something like that. Like, framework, similar framework, different result. I mean, Flares, that idea is so good. There's at least 5 isekais with a guy that has a phone. Also, all have best friends that got cut. Yeah, man, crazy. Right? So then you'd have to look at it from a different perspective. So now we have things that are the same. Right? We have established that there are characteristics of 5 stories that are the same. Right? So what makes them different? Well, in one of them, the person got sent there with a smartphone, right? Like, they got sent there with a device. And in that story, like, look, I'm literally gonna make it different. Think about all the ways that this would change the way that the story can be told. I encourage you. So, in one way, the person gets sent there with a phone, and they're extremely competent at using their phone. Like, it's literally a magical device. Like, they can do basically everything with that phone and solve every problem. Right? And in the second one, the character right before they got isekai'd just got their phone. They have no idea how to use it. Right? To be fair, I haven't watched them, just find it hilarious. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Rance, is that, like, let's execute literally the thing that I have been talking about. Which is, like, if we wanted to creatively distinguish between two stories that have a similar premise, how do we make it different? So I'm saying, in one of them, the person's very masterful in using it, and in the second one, they basically get transported to this other world, but, like, they have the Eldritch equivalent of, like, a Necronomicon. Like, they have no idea how to use the phone. They have zero clue, but apparently it does, like, a lot of stuff here, so they have to figure it out. Right? So one story is about attaining mastery, and one story is about flaunting mastery. And then you could argue that, like, stories of attaining mastery appeal more to people who do not have mastery, right? And want to attain mastery. So I would argue that the group you're targeting is probably going to be older with that kind of story. And then you could go, like, the first one is about having, like, an ideal, right? Like, the story is literally about presenting you an ideal and presenting you, like, a badass. So, like, it's a power fantasy. That's probably better for people who don't feel like they have power, i.e. teenagers. Right? So, like, we can already tell from, like, one small story detail how you could, like, severely change how to write the story. But they're both the hero's journey, though. Okay, you're right. My bad, dude. I wish you were paying attention for the entire, like, other part of the lecture. Also, sorry, Claymore the manga is my go-to example of excellence through execution. You can see 5 books ahead most of the time, and I never care. I just find the idea stupid, personally, and doesn't add an interesting dynamic. Is all, like, get what you're saying, just find hilarious? How such a silly idea could be profitable. Yeah, for sure. And there's definitely, like, personal differences you could take with stories that go, like, it's not very interesting. Right? Because for me, right, like, I actually don't find that premise interesting at all. But the thing is, like, you know, as someone who is in the tactician field, like, in a field of that, so, like, a design field of some kind that I'm not going to specify, part of, like, design is understanding why someone else will like the thing. It doesn't matter if I like the thing. I just need to know why other people like the thing. Because if I know why other people like the thing, then I can make it for them. And I can make them happy. Right? Doesn't matter if I, like... So here's the other thing, too. It's like, what is the purpose of transporting someone to another world with an object of power? It's just giving them a magical weapon, which is a part of the hero's journey. Like, I don't know, man. It's like a different way of giving somebody Excalibur. Like, it's like, what? So what is the Excalibur in, like, a show like FGO? It's like, they get a servant. The servant is Excalibur. So what is the Excalibur in Konosuba? It's taking Aqua. Like... But But it's all the same. Oh, I can't deal with it anymore. None of my stories are original because they're all the same with a certain degree of analysis. Oh no. My life is over. Like, I can't stand that stuff, man. Like, really. It literally is, like, undermining creativity, I think. Is what it is at its core. And I dislike that. So, yeah. There's my rage tangent for the stream. I hope it wasn't too hot of a take. Indeed, my favorite dude who is always naked, that's the Excalibur. Yeah, I mean, like, I should also mention that, like, I'm not a story expert, so... I just, like, sort of understand it a little bit. I don't know, maybe that was interesting to somebody. The hottest of takes. Oh no! I love analyzing stories like that. Yeah, it's fun. Which again, like, the thing that I said, by the way, is that, like, this is completely, like, this is completely independent on, like, what your personal opinion is on, like, a thing. Right? Like, it's okay for you to not like things subjectively. You don't need to like a story where the magical weapon is a smartphone. Right? It's more about, like, acknowledging it and disliking it for the right reasons. Right? It's literally okay for you to not like... Like, it's okay for you to like Mario and then not like a different platformer because, like, the controls feel different. And that's, like, a very minute thing. Like, there are a lot of things that are very minute that people, like, might not notice, but then go, like, the controller's kind of clunky, I don't like it. Right? I think there's legitimately a non-zero number of people, right, who don't like playing Monster Hunter, but like playing Dark Souls. Do you know what I think the most interesting thing about, like difference between Dark Souls and Monster Hunter is? Is that Dark Souls has extremely heavy input buffering. So if I do a Fade Slash and I press X, my character doesn't roll. If I do a Fade Slash, like, when do I have to press X for the input to actually register? Can't press it here. Right? Can't press it at the very start of the animation. In Dark Souls, the input buffering is so long, dude. It's crazy. So, like, some people who are used to Dark Souls will play Monster Hunter and be like, the control feels clunky, I don't like it. It's like, well, it could be a number of things, right? But it's like, is it the input buffering? Because it could be the input buffering. It could be something else, I don't know. But it's because they're slightly different. It's a little different. Makes the game feel a little different. Also, dude has the convenient power as well. Sorry, can't wear underwear. It's my power. So, ladies like my junk. I don't know what that means, Rance, but I'm gonna nod and agree with you.
I've got some great bargains. This should be interesting.
Fire attack, ice attack. Ooh, these are both kind of good. Bug Whisper. Ooh, Quick Sheath too. Let's go. Feel like I'm gonna need that for something. I think we take all of them actually, because we need stuff for Rebirth, right? Yeah. Alright, anyways. In Dark Souls, you don't kill my boy, so it's objectively better. Justice for Rathalos. Sorry, excuse me. That's a really interesting detail, actually. Right? So, now we get into, like, what is a weird subjective difference that would, like, prevent people from playing certain games, right? So it's like, if Rance is particularly empathetic towards large dragons, and they feel uncomfortable slaying large dragons, right? They might feel more comfortable slaying things in Dark Souls. Because, like, the things are more clearly evil looking. Right? So sometimes you might fight a dragon, but you're not like going on an instanced quest to fight like 2 Diablos. You're just kind of like wandering around the world, and then the Abyss Knight started attacking you, so like it's easier for you to suspend your disbelief to like play Dark Souls. Right? Which is fine. It's just they're different. They're slightly different. Ah! Do I want to bring a trap? Indeed. Oh, yikes. I don't think I can read that. Literally because YouTube would bonk me. But yeah, you know, killing those people is easier than murdering dragons. Right? That was a lot of talking. I feel like I was talking for like the entire quest last time. I don't know. I think it's just like cool or something, you know? It's just cool. Oh, I guess I should also mention that part of why I feel like I've thought about this before or like explored it before is... Oh. Is because it's pretty common for TCG players to go like, oh, this game's like the same as the other game. This game is just Yu-Gi-Oh! Light. Or this game is like Magic, but worse. This game is like this other thing, but worse. And it's like, okay. You got it, dude. You, what's it like that, man, there's a really good picture for this. It's, I think it's from Gabriel Dropout. It's like, what's it like being mad all the time? I think it's funny and applicable here. Anyways, before I was making fun of Isekai, where dude's power was he's always naked. I understand that as a Shadowverse player, yeah. Wanna know why I don't like Shadowverse? I'm gonna say it in 4K. I hate Shadowverse. It's the worst. It's the worst card game because it's just Hearthstone Light. Can I get a sign that says this is a joke? Would that make it, like, better for people? I'm not sure if people understand what sarcasm is. I never trust that people understand what sarcasm is. Shadowverse is one of the games I got Grandmaster in. Which I like telling people. But I actually felt like it's really interesting because know your sponsorships. Sorry, I love you, Shadowverse. If look, man. So I've said this multiple times. If Shadowverse sponsored me, I would sell their game so hard. Are you kidding me? Shadowverse is great. I thought you were gonna say because of Raid Shadow Legends and do a bit. No. I think one of the things I didn't like as much with Shadowverse was that the tools felt very, The tools felt like too samey. So we were just talking about how, like, things can be the same but different, but I did legitimately feel like everybody having a 2-mana removal spell was, like, a little weird. I wasn't super into it. And then later, everybody got OTK prevention, and that made it really hard as a Rhinoceros player to win the game. So, well... Yeah, which, by the way, if we want to talk about, like, small differences with meaningful, like, effect, the time that I got to Grandmaster in Shadowverse was when... it was before Standard existed, so it was a while ago. It was literally the first time I was in college, was when I got to Grandmaster in Shadowverse. Yeah, the way I got to Grandmaster was because I played the mid-range version of Rhinoceros. Because people who were on the, like, full aggro version of Rhinoceros, I think, had a worse matchup. And then the mid-range version was also really good at beating decks that tried to out-mid-range Rhinoceros. So I had a fairly better matchup into the aggro variant, and then I had a better matchup into the decks that were trying to beat the aggro variant. Because it played White Wolf to tutor for Homecoming. And Homecoming was a 7-mana, like, bounce everything back to your hand. So, it became a 0-mana, bounce everything back to their hand. And that was really good versus the decks that tried to taunt out. Or ward? I don't know what the keyword is in that game. That tried to taunt to prevent Rhinoceros from winning. It's hyper annoying. Oh, Diablo's fight. This is a classic quest, by the way. If you don't know what this quest is based on, this is kind of a joke, because obviously, like, you could always have a quest with 2 Diablos, but the first instance of a quest with 2 Diablos, I'm pretty sure, is called Four Horns from the original Monster Hunter. And it was kind of a nightmare. Furious is the character I play. Any deck that works with Badass Dude. Man. I played like a non-zero amount of Bloodcraft when I played Shadowverse actively. I played many different versions of Blood Aggro. Honestly, it was not very fun. I was not the hugest fan of Blood Aggro. It's kind of boring. Cool. So I tried making Blood Control, and that wasn't very good. Quite bad. I don't have any rations. I feel like I should go get some rations. There's a turf war. Turf war in the back. I just realized that I refreshed all of that stuff, and it Man, they really don't have a supply box in the sub camps. That's so unfortunate. I tend to play things casually. It's why my favorite card game, Teppen, just because it's got some sick art from Capcom characters. Yeah, I've never played Teppen. I think my friend told me about it when it came out, though. I didn't really want to have to deal with the, like, timed thing. Right, that was the game where you, like, queue moves up, right? Like, you play cards, but it's kind of in, like, a sort of real-time system. Right, and that's the thing, right, is that, like, that's really cool and interesting. But also, I don't play card games for that experience. Like, I don't play card games to have to deal with things in real time. So it's, like, really cool and awesome, and I think, like, the people who both made that game, probably the people who enjoy playing it, like, you know, all power to them. But I understand that the thing that makes it different is not the thing that I want out of the thing. So I just don't do it, right? And that's fine. It's fine. It's fine to not like the thing. But again, the source of me not liking the thing isn't like, oh, it's just worse Hearthstone. It's like, what a terrible argument to make. Teppen is worse Hearthstone, so I'm not gonna play it. It's like, okay, dude. You got it. I'm sure it's worse at Hearthstone for some reason. But you're being awfully vague about it. Shadowverse is worse Hearthstone, even though you can give things pseudo-haste. And evolution points are a resource management system that is legitimately complicated. And also the player that gets to go second gets an additional evolution point so that they can fix part of the play draw disparity by allowing the second player to choose when they take tempo. Instead of Hearthstone, that doesn't have that system. But also Shadowverse is just worse Hearthstone, obviously, so, you know. My bad, dude. I'm sorry you have zero understanding of what makes the games different. Oh, I died. I don't even know what hit me, dude. What? Crazy. I feel like I want to make a better lance. Imagine saying an orange and a tangerine are the same. Couldn't be me. Yu-Gi-Oh sucks because I tried to pull off what I've seen in the show and I got banned for cheating. Oh, man. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Monster Hunter sucks because their radial menu system makes me drink potions. I still don't know the difference between an orange and a tangerine. I think oranges are larger, right? Like, tangerines are, like, smaller oranges. So they're generally easier to, like peel and eat the entirety of. Whereas oranges are, like, big. Like, genuinely, they're, like, big. I think tangerines are also supposed to be, like, sweeter. Like, a little bit sweeter. Is that correct? Like, I think that's what it is. Is that the only difference? Yeah, so, like, size... I mean, I'm sure I could look it up. Yeah, I'm interested. Let's see. What is the difference between an orange and a tangerine? Tell me, internet. What is the difference between orange and a tangerine. Okay, first thing, healthline.com. Tangerines versus oranges, how are they different? Tangerines and oranges are citrus fruits that are often confused for one another. They both contain an assortment of nutrients, are relatively sweet in flavor, and generally low calories, but while tangerines and oranges are closely related, they're actually two separate fruits with some notable differences. So let's skip. Tangerines were first grown in Palatka, Florida in the 1800s. Oranges originated in Asia. They are the fruit of the citrus and Sinensis species and are also members of the citrus family. So interestingly, oranges are hybrids of two fruits, pomelo and mandarin. There are many different varieties of oranges. They can be divided into 4 classes. That's interesting. Both tangerines and oranges range from having many seeds to being seedless. Tangerines and oranges can differ in color. I was trying to find the main differences. Tangerines are often labeled as mandarins or vice versa, especially in the United States. However, from a botanic standpoint, tangerines refer to a subgroup of mandarins. Most commonly, mandarins that are reddish-orange, brightly colored, tend to be labeled as tangerines. Yeah. So it looks like... Yeah, it looks like just where they originated from are different, right? So, like, oranges are a pomelo and mandarin crossover, or hybrid, and tangerines are a subspecies of mandarins. Cool. The more you know. So I think most of the things I said were actually incorrect about what makes them different, but yeah. I would assume to somebody they may also taste different. I would assume. But yeah. As well, you're in like a subsect of like marine biology or something, right? Or were you were... No, your program is like water, like ocean water chemistry or something? Like that was the difference? I was just wondering if there was like a sea species that kind of has that trend, where like they're very, very similar, but like there's actually something slightly different about them. Seems like our math teacher from DFO just taught us about oranges. Sweet, now smack dragon with a flagpole. Look, man. Oceanography, which has subsets. That's fair. Yeah, for some reason, something that came to mind was, like, dolphins, and then I was wondering if there was, like, 2 very similar types of dolphins that, like, split in, like, I was gonna say genealogy, but, like, they split somewhere in their evolutionary line. Ah, that didn't hit? Come on, man. Ow. Oh. I studied the beer, got kicked out, yet somehow managed to find comfortable job in a hospital. This is fair. Is it because you were suggesting to add underpants to the mix of beer? No cap, I think that would be a good way to get kicked out of your school. Oh. What's your story? Why'd you get kicked out? Well, you see, we were making beer. Uh-huh. And I thought it would be cool to add underpants to it. Sharp inhale. Oh! Oh, what the heck was that? I didn't know they could fling a boulder at you. Jeez. When did Diablos get a projectile? Here was an embarrassing drunken skinny dip fail. Damn. Got kicked out for skinny dipping. You wish it was about underpants. Well, I guess it's not.
Oh, no, you don't. You're in for it now.
Sharp one. Green cactus? I think not. Ah! Oh! Man, this control stick drift is, like, really getting to me this session. Because in, like, the microsecond that it takes me to adjust the camera, like, I can't press, like, my counter buttons and stuff. Really annoying, especially when things are fast. Yeah, that was just me being greedy. Somehow I don't think that we're succeeding this one.
I'm not giving up yet.
Oh. Ugh. Control stick drift. Control stick drift. Why do I have like a slight lisp when saying that? It literally went to full drunk. Here's the thing I learned. Drinking doesn't work like the movies. You can't just use it to pick up cool chicks. Yeah, I don't think that's really how that works, honestly. Yeah, I got wrecked. Because I was being Greedo mode. Probably should have restocked my mega potions before we came back here. We'll be fine. It's indeed kind of funny how stubborn you can be when younger. Is that in reference to yourself? I definitely never had the assumption that alcohol would get me the whammons. Oh. Oh, sheesh. Get in there. Oh, hey, we hunted them. Nice. Let's go. I feel like one piece of Diablo should have Constitution on it, so we're gonna actually carve this one. Oh, I'm tired. I slept in today and I'm still tired. Darn, my big rants and talking stuff today didn't get a sub. Darn. People not angry enough at storytelling. Unlucky. Okay. I guess the 23-minute I was gonna say the 23-minute like McDonald's menu or something, but 23-minute Chameleos. I was like, my parents don't know crap. I'm gonna drink and get all the chicks, and then I even added Red Bull in the shots, and since they said it's bad. Well, I'm sorry you had to learn that the hard way, Rance. It's really too bad. My nephew really likes the cringe damage and makes him laugh. True. Oop. That's okay. I mean... someone who maybe has questionable relationships. Or... I don't really know how else to say it. I feel like the relationship with my parents is not the greatest. It's one of those things where, like, it's not like I supremely dislike them for any reason. And I think there's a lot of reasons that would, like, make it difficult for me to say that I dislike them. Right? But I think we disagree on many things. So I kind of just gave up on interacting with them. It's like too much energy, I guess. Too much energy. Fighting. Etc. I also think one of the main reasons why I started cooking for myself. I mean, this is the way that I cite it, but you know, I'm sure maybe I could have like, I could have started like cooking for any number of reasons, but my I don't know how people normally refer to their parents. What would it be like, Papa Lyria? Papa Lyria is not much of a cook. So, the food that I have eaten for a long time is quite bad. And then Mama Lyria is also not really a cook. So, you know, right? And that's the thing, is that I don't go like, man, I can't believe you weren't able to cook. Right? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, you know, I just don't really want to eat your cooking because I think it's bad. It's not much else to it, you know? Parents are hard. Yeah, that's sad, sadly. Had to do the same with cousins since it just doesn't work out. Yeah, it's like... You want to believe that, like, most relationships are, like, symbiotic. Or, like, you can make work, but... the control stick drift is just, like, not doing it. You, like, really want to go left. Alright. Maybe that helped. Maybe it didn't. Oh, I can capture this guy. Can't capture them because I don't have a stun trap. But yeah, pretty common occurrence is like, there's food, why aren't you eating it? And it's like, I don't know, because it's not good. I wasn't sure how much I wanted to like drag that out, but it's, I don't know, it's hard. Because it's like, it's not like I'm not eating it because I like hate you guys, right? Just like, I think my food is a lot better. I'd rather just make my own food and not deal with this. My food was always burned. My food was burned, always burned. Mom was good. She had addiction with Pepsi for a bit. Instead of juice, we had Pepsi for a bit. Yeah, families are hard. It's also kind of, you know, I'm not say like raised in the era, but I think there's a pretty apparent, well, I don't want to say apparent. There's definitely been a few cases where like video games are not seen in a very high light. Probably to some degree how my parents viewed it as well. Now, it's actually really funny about that. So, I mean, I've been a gamer through and through, so this is the last story before I think I want to call it, but you know, uh, so definitely my parents had the thing where like you can turn off the internet at a certain time, you know what I mean? Because it's like you are playing too late. You must stop playing the video games at a certain time. So what I did, right, was I hacked it like 3 or 4 times. And I realized, I think at like the second time or third time, is that if I just turn it off and they check it, right, and they go like, well, that's weird, why is the thing off now? Like, why did the thing get removed? I don't understand. Like they would recognize that, like, I suppose I messed with it or hacked it, right? So what I did after like the second time was I would like reinstate the restriction after I like turned off the computer. So it'd be like, it's supposed to turn off by this time, and then it'd be like, no. And then after I was done, I would reinstate the restriction so that it didn't look like I tampered with it. Not really much else to that story outside of, you know, I'm trying to remember how I did it too. I think like I saw the password one time, and then the times after that they were like subvariants of that password, so it was like just easily guessable. It's kind of funny. Hackerman Flares. Yeah, basically. Hackerman, I'm in. Ah, the noise suppression made it not. So if I keep talking and I do this... Oh, wait, what? Alright, never mind. I wanted to make, like, keyboard noises, because Hackerman. Also, what makes your dinner tonight different from dinner last night? Since they're both dinner. I'm curious on how the all changes add up. I'm not sure what you mean by this question, Kraus. My dinner last night was dim sum. So House Lyria ordered dim sum. It's quite good. I haven't had dinner tonight yet, and I think it's leftovers of the dim sum. So I think that's gonna be it for today. I have projects I should be working on. The question is a parody of your points. Oh, no, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I got you, Chris. What makes it different? They're both dinner. I don't understand. What's so different about them? I don't get it. Kids doing kids things. Remember sneaking in Dad's room to steal Dad's copy of Halo to play a bit, then put it back. Did it for weeks. Hell yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, so since we're wrapping up, if you're here for gameplay, I'll say thank you so much for watching. We're probably gonna go to the battle map in a second, so if we have any new friends who would like to say hi, I can change it to, not sub mode only. So people can say hi if they want, but, if you're taking off, then I'll say have a good one. Again, thanks for hanging out with me, and, we're gonna hop off to the battle map. I should say Tavern Lyria. I'm also streaming again on Sunday this time. I came to the realization that maybe streaming on Saturday for Dungeon Fighter is a bad day, because I think the content creators for Dungeon Fighter generally stream on Saturday, so I think I'm competing against people when I do that. Alright. Off. Alright, I was gonna change the thing. Hold on a second. Sorry. Let me edit this. Customizations. Yeah, I don't know why it changes it to sub-only mode. So I've changed it no longer to... I've changed it to not sub-only mode. I don't know why it does that. I think it's in Streamlabs. And I should do something about that. But, if you have any new friends who would like a token, please feel free to speak up. I don't think we had anyone else join who wasn't already on the battle map. Did we have anybody else join? I don't think so. But yeah, let's go retrieve the flag. Let's put another stamp on cute Rathian's head. Yeah, we have Rance, we have Sharksaurus Lurk, got JV as well, got Kraos, Poi. You scroll up a bit more. I think that's everybody. Do the bots get an icon? Should we make an icon for the bots? That'd be like kind of funny, right? I think what I want to do with the bot icon... Alright, here we go. Let's make a bot icon. What do we think should be on the bot icon? Roboflower? I mean, that's maybe like a bit complicated. Bot icon should be an evil Roomba. Alright, I've got the perfect idea. Okay, so there's kind of our Roomba base, right? Or the Crushinator. Put some Roomba feathers, feathery things come out of the bottom. Kind of do this so it looks like a hockey puck. That kind of looks like a Roomba, right? Roomba. It has a shiny disc on the top. Huh. Okay, so it has like kind of a... Actually kind of has like one of these things in the center. Roomba, if you want to sponsor me, by the way. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. Finishing touch. There we go. There's our evil Roomba. Evil Roomba with the House Lyria flag on it. Get a little bit more sinister looking. Next time bots bring your simpish bot friends. So at least the spin comes with money. Hilarious. So there's our bot. This is bot. But I think what we'll do for bot, Lyria sponsored Evil Roomba, perfect. Yeah. So what we'll do with the Roomba is that if there is a bot in the stream, like if a bot appears, we'll have it appear. And then I was wondering if like if we should have it at a macro level where like if one appears in the week, then we'll leave it. Because I was thinking like if we go a stream without it, maybe we hide it, but then that would mean that like the only time the Roomba bot would be on the map is like if one appeared on the very last stream, right? Which I feel like isn't really fair to the bots, you know what I mean? So I think what we'll do is just if there's a bot, this will be hidden at the start of the week, and then if there's a bot at any point in time in that week, we'll make it show up. Sound good? Alright, cool. So next stream is Dungeon Fighter on Sunday. I'm just gonna be streaming raids. It's gonna be pretty chill, you know. Not a whole lot going on. And maybe, hopefully, I'll be less stressed because I'll try and get a few projects out of the way by that time. I say that every time, but also, you know, maybe, hopefully. Yeah, so that's gonna be it. For everyone who stuck around, thank you for hanging out. It was fun. Thank you for discussing with me instead of making me feel like I'm in a void. It's always appreciated. Because, yeah. I don't know how else to say it, but I think I say that every time too. But thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. And I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.